Now, your next choice is one that is seen as one of the best Doctor stories.
Yeah.
It's one of the early ones of Tom Baker. In fact, it's only his second story, and it's Ark in Space.
Homo sapiens. What an inventive, invincible species. It's only a few million years since they crawled up out of the mud and learned to walk. Puny, defenseless bipeds. They've survived flood, famine, and plague. They've survived cosmic wars and holocausts. Now, here they are, out among the stars, waiting to begin a new life, ready to outsit eternity. They're indomitable. Indomitable.
Yeah. Quite a popular choice, this one. It's a great story. I mean, I think the only thing that sort of lets this down a little bit is the bubble wrap alien, but you know, for 72 it's not bad. And if you look at the sets as well, like the set when he's doing his famous Homo sapien speech, that's a fantastic set. I mean, that could be straight out of Scott Ripley or whatever. Obviously a lot earlier than that as well, so it must have been quite influential, I think. But no, it's a great idea. The idea that there's humans it's the last humans all being cryogenically frozen, and there's a parasite on board and all the rest of it. Just makes for a great kind of like a classic sort of base under siege story that that harks back to Troughton a bit as well. And another fantastic TARDIS team as well. I think Harry is again another very underrated companion. I think they work really well together, those three, with Sarah Jane and Tom Baker. It's just a really winning combination, I think, those three. Trying to think what else to say really. What do you like? What do you like about the Ark in Space? I'm guessing you both like that one.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I sort of like how it's. Even though it's Tom Baker's second story, he's already so in control of everything.
Yeah.
And I think the whole setting as well, it's a sort of, because there's no escape or anything.
Yeah.
Really.
That's a great story, I think, doesn't it? When you've got. Yeah, definitely. I think I wrote about this in my book, but it's bizarre with Tom Baker. He's one of the few Doctors that I can think of that just owns that part, like almost immediately. Like within like 2 scenes of Robot, his first story, he is the Doctor, and you've forgotten about. I mean, as much as Pertwee's amazing, he's just Tom Baker. He's almost like he was born to play the role. It's almost like he's not acting sometimes. He just has that natural eccentricity, and it comes out really well in it. I think one of the things I love about him is whereas John Pertwee would do all these kind of rambling things at somebody, which could come across as quite aloof and a bit sort of arrogant and all the rest of it. Tom Baker sort of does it to himself, so he'll sort of go off screen and sort of do this kind of mumbling thing where he describes the whole plot in very complicated terms. But because he's doing it to himself, it kind of adds to his eccentricity and it makes him, even more interesting and odd.
Yeah.
So Ark in Space is also interesting. It's sort of the start of a story arc in space, because you've sort of got a continuous adventure really from Robot, and then you've got the Nerva beacon, which obviously returns, Revenge of the Cybermen.
Yeah.
So it sort of gives a continuity.
Yeah, that season's fantastic. It's probably the best season, I think, personally. As a full season, I think it's probably the most consistently good. I mean, and I really like the arc in that one. It doesn't kind of overplay that too much. It doesn't make the whole, thing about that. But it's nice that it follows on. When they go down from there to the sort of what they thought would be a decimated Earth with the Sontaran experiment, and then like you say, back to Revenge of the Cybermen in the same setting, but like centuries later or whenever it is. It's a nice season to follow, that one.
Yeah, it feels very like modern Doctor Who in the way that it follows this sort of linking plot line from the first story, Robot, through this one, and then through all the others. It sort of feels more connected in a way that perhaps some of the other stories in previous seasons didn't.
Yeah, they're a bit more standalone, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it does work well like that, and like I said, really good team on board as well. I think Harry works really well with Sarah Jane, and their personality clashes and things. It's good.